Hello, herzlich willkommen to another video here on the channel. We're diving into Standard again after my little exploration of Explorer with Red-Black midrange. This is a deck I've received by some friends of mine. Sorry, I just had to shut something off here. They are praising it as the best of one aggro deck in the format. It is supposedly very good and very popular in best of one. So now the question that is begging itself, is this deck also good in best of three? Is it good enough to fight off Jessica Hinata, which seems to be absolutely dominating, at least the Magic Online standard challenges? But yeah, so what is this deck trying to do? It's basically playing the very strong one-drop Kumano faces Kakkazan. That is a big card that provides on the second chapter one of your creatures with an extra power, and then later on a 2/2 haster. And an extra power is very relevant in this deck because there's a small sub-theme of 1/1 counters going on, highlighted by Thundering Raiju, which deals damage and attacks to the amount of modified creatures you control. So there's extra synergy. Hopeful Initiate, of course, can gain counters via training. Luminarch Aspirant is that is the modify king, queen, what have you. If you need counters, Luminarch Aspirant is your man. Is it a woman? It's probably a woman, right? Bloodthirsty Adversary also can gain counters. And then we have Brutal Cathar just as a generically good card. Provides you with day-night cycle, which comes up with the Sunrise Cavalier, a card that I've never played in. I've never played this in Constructed. It's a 3-mana 3/4 trample haste, and if it isn't day or night, it becomes day as the Cavalier enters the battlefield, and then when day becomes night or night becomes day, put a 1/1 card on a target creature you control. So it grows your stuff, and it's a trample haster. Pretty good, pretty decent. Like nothing amazing, but adding up with the synergies, I could see this card being solid. Alright, yeah, that's the deck. We're trying to be very aggressive, get the game over with very quickly, got some mana in the mana base. And the sideboard, yeah, for Showdown, for perhaps the mid-range matchups where they have a lot of removal. We got some Angel Fire Ignitions, and I honestly don't quite know what they're for. I suspect you could bring them in any mirror match, of course. A mirror match, this card would be quite good. The lifelink, or perhaps Naya Ruins. I suspect you wouldn't bring it in against Esper mid-range type of decks. And the Showdown is better. And against Blue-Red or Hinata, those type of decks, they do play a lot of cheap interaction. And if you start putting this on your creatures, could get blown out by their instants. So I think this is more a card that you bring in against aggro decks. But in the end, this list is fairly fresh. I just got it from the internet, and yeah, filthy net deck, I know. And made some slight changes. Like there were 4 rip aparts in the sideboard. I was like, rip apart, really? Kami's Flare I can get behind as a 3 damage spell because it deals an extra 2 damage to the opponent's face. That's quite good in a racing situation. As long as you have a modified creature, which is again fairly easy at this deck. And then I added a 2 Valorous Stance, 2 Portable Hole, just yeah, get some nice interaction in there. Cards that I could see are Elite Spellbinder, Raidane, maybe even the Wandering Emperor. I also added a land to the main deck, 24 lands. That makes it also easier to cast these Showdowns post-board. 23 is a little bit low, especially if you think about this as a potential 5-drop. Here you even have a 7-drop. I mean, that won't come up often. But still, 24 seems reasonable because we do have utility lands as well. Alright, enough talking. Let's get onto the Mythic ladder. The last time I played Mythic ladder, I was waiting a while for my matches to happen. Because it's early in the month and not that many people are on the best of 3 Mythic ladder yet. Not many Mythic players. And if it doesn't find you a Mythic player, I assume it looks I've heard it starts looking after 1 minute for Diamond Platinum players, but 1 minute it looks for Mythic players. So you sometimes have to wait 1 minute early in the month because no Mythic players are around, and then it finds you a Diamond player. Okay, we found a Mythic player now, Penwalker. This hand is a little unexciting, and we're on the draw. We do have 1-drop and a 2-drop, but that's basically the entire hand. The second 1-drop does not look very good. We get an instant training counter, which is nice. Ooh. I mean, I think we have to keep this, but I'm not entirely happy about it. But if this is the deck, then maybe I'm just not happy about the deck. Like, because if this is what the deck does, goes Hopeful into Bloodthirsty, the format is just hostile to aggro. I've said that plenty of times. I mean, we don't see mono-white aggro anymore, even though the card quality that mono-white aggro has is quite incredible on every step of the curve. But just the format in general is just hostile towards aggro. Playing against Temur, mid-range, Temur control. Good deck, good deck. I wrote a deck guide on CFB for the deck. So I have one more Frostbolt Snarl in my deck. So I want to keep the mountain in my hand in case I draw it, so I can have it untapped. Brutal! This game would have been much easier on the play, because then we would have snuck in some power before these counter spells could hit us. Okay, okay. That's a good draw. Alright, sweet. I suspect the gold spam is going to hit the battlefield now. Which, in all honesty, doesn't seem that good. Especially because I can Brutal Cathar it. The thing we are worried about is the Titan. I mean, if they have a land and a Titan, they can still cast it, so... Could blow up the treasure, but no. Okay. Okay, they don't seem to have an instant. So yeah, now the question is, do they have land and Titan? Or not? If they don't, they lose. They could have a sweeper as well. And this was pretty impressive, I must say. Hopeful Initiate is quite nice with haste creatures. Damn it. Oh, okay. That's lethal. Lucky me. If I wouldn't have drawn that there, I could not have attacked this turn. I would have flipped these, which is maybe fine, but... Yeah, I could have sacrificed 2 creatures to put them to 2 life, but that's not worth it, especially if they get a gold spam back. Alright, anyways, we drew out of it. Nice. Okay. I mean, Valorous Stance, I suppose. I mean, I could see myself cutting this, adding these, get a little bit more late game, get a couple stands. Vigilance, Trample, Lifelink, Indestructible, and Haste. It just doesn't get through a 7/7. The sideboard could use another Valorous Stance. Yeah. That does make sense. I think I'm gonna make that change after this match. Blue and red, Temur, Dragonstorm, Hinata are just so popular these days. They're the best decks in the format, right? I was wondering if I should revisit Jund. and give it a shot, because Riveteer's Charm looks pretty spectacular these days. And Junt is also a deck that can easily make Voltage Surge work with the Bloodthirsty Harvester, and you can even play Treasure Makers like Black Market Tycoon, Fable, Chariot, etc., etc. Briarbridge Tracker, of course, Junt plays as well. So Voltage Surge is amazing in that deck, and if you've listened to me in the past or in the last days, I do love Voltage Surge. It's a very good card. So Junt could perhaps make a comeback against these blue-red decks. Yeah, we don't have a 2-drop, but otherwise the curve looks pretty fine. Fading Hope. Now we do have a turn 2 play again. Thank you, opponent. I guess it could also be decent to have a replacement for the Cathar in the sideboard. What do I mean by replacement? A creature that can come in as a free drop when the Cathar is not good. Against control, for example. Or in this matchup, Cathar is not that spectacular. Although, I must say, a big reason why Cathar is good these days, perhaps, is how it lines up against the Fable token. This is a very nice lineup for us. So maybe I'm eating my own words here. Maybe the Cathar is just good against all these Izzet decks, because it can always answer a Fable so nicely on turn 3. Okay. And then in the late game, I mean, yeah, it can take out a Hinata, but they often have Voltage Surge. That's sort of the issue with the card. But then at least it trades for Voltage Surge, so it's yeah, it does something. And now they kind of have to kill it. No, okay. Valorous Stance. Cool. This is quite the punching bag. It's this, I mean, it basically dealt 5 damage haste there, which is pretty good for a 4-mana card. It can deal a lot of damage in the stack if you curve out nicely. Luminarch Aspirant especially. Opponent is far away from casting a Titan this game. Oh, they want to go for a double block, huh? I think I'll just Valorous Stance, one of my creatures then. Give it indestructible. Flooding, no manland, no nothing. A little rough. Happens. Can this deck just play Fable? Seriously? I mean, why not, right? It's quite sad that I don't have a Kami's Flare here. Then I could get both creatures. Well, yeah. I don't know. I mean, I boarded the Valorous Stance, but now they're playing these Fables. Fable is just, it's just such a messed up card. It gives these decks, yeah, the entirely different angle of attack. It's so good. wonder if I should have more showdowns? They're not even putting these on green, interestingly enough. They're just, I don't know. Maybe don't have a Titan right now. And this game, Showdown of the Skalds, is looking pretty good. Okay. I mean, if these cards are all spells, if we get a little bit luckier, then things might also be different. Play with fire, I mean, would have been much better in Valorous Stance, funnily enough, huh? I don't know, maybe Valorous Stance is just too slow. Do you ever cut the Raiju? Probably not. Let's put in a Showdown in the deck. Now I'm gonna be stuck on 3 lands, I already know it. And have like 3 4-drops in my hand. I'm jinxing myself by saying this, am I not? Just meditate, let it come at you. Whatever happens, happens. You are in the control of your own emotions. Focus on the things you have in control. Meditate, be zen. Don't let it touch you. Whatever is not in your control. Good game, he says. Wow. I mean, I guess that says, let's have a good game, in a way. What's the meaning behind that? I told you, I'm gonna miss land drops. Yep. And they have the voltage surge here. As I said, a little bit of a hostile environment for a Boros Aggro deck. And this card is very popular. Yeah, Hopeful Initiate is a card that's pretty good when the opponent does not have interaction for the bigger creatures. But if the opponent has interaction for the bigger creatures, you're sitting on a 1-mana 1/2. Very bad. I'm likely just gonna shoot face here if they don't do anything, just to help me scry into a 4th land. I have a little bit of a dry throat, I don't know why, but weather is amazing here, so... Nice! Nice! Javai Disruption. Just got played as a Javai Ruins. Well, would be a beating here, but hey, what can you do? Yeah, nice. All hope in this showdown. Just... yeah. I guess I'll play around another Javai Ruins. Also leaving up a red means I can hit Kumano and play it. Nice. Well, I said nice to this, but the rest of the cards are not that good. I mean, that's the thing when you play a Showdown deck. You kind of want to have a high density of low cost spells and not that many lands to hit. Man, Den of the Bugbear is like... when I played against Boros, that card usually was very scary. And I haven't drawn it yet. I kind of wonder if we can play 3 copies instead of just 2. That land dealing those extra 4 damage when you get your opponent low can really decide things. It's nice and sad at the same time. It's like, wish I had another free drop here I could deploy. So now I have to make the decision: do I want to get a Brutal Cathar? Do I want to get a Raiju? The Raiju I will have later as well. I should just get the Cathar probably. This sets up the board pretty well. Next turn I can play Raiju, give this a counter, and then attack for a huge amount of damage. Nothing on 5. Kind of hinting that they do not have Dragon's Fire? They would have played it end step here. Voltage Surge, they could have played on this. Well, they will just die. They don't have any interaction here. They do have Voltage Surge. Fading Hope. Titan of Industry, go up to 5. Go up to 7, I mean, go up 5. Would result in them still dying, because this deals them 3 to their face, so they would have to stay back, yeah. They have to stay back with the dragon. Not die. So I guess... Oh. Okay. They have more, huh? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I can only beat so many things. There we see the power of Titan of Industry. Just being the stabilizing force. It's very close, huh? Wait a minute. This is lethal. Of course this is lethal. Sorry, I was a little slow there. I was thinking about what to flash back. But I can just do this. Attack everybody. Put a counter here. 3 to their face. They block 2, take 6. Plenty of lethal. It was almost lethal without it too. I would have put them to 1. Thinking. Oops. Oh, that was impressive. I just beat Titan of Industry in 2 games. Huh. Damn. We lost the game where they drew multiple Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Yeah, that card is quite good, isn't it? So, let's make some changes that I was thinking about. And sideboard wise, I would think that a third. I'm just gonna cut one of these Angel Fire Ignition. Valorous Stance. And then I was saying I would like to have a card that could come in as a free drop. Adeline. Oh, Adeline is such a powerhouse. I'm just gonna trim these Angel Fire Ignitions. I don't see a reason for them to be in a sideboard. Reckless Stormseeker is also a nice one. Maybe that's even better, because it's easier to cast. And then we trim 1 Showdown. Like, 4 Showdown is a lot. I think 3 is fine. 3 is a fine number to have. Especially if you already have a strong 4-drop that you don't necessarily want to cut anyhow. 3 Showdown seems like that's an okay number to have. You usually, like, 1 Showdown is enough to get those extra cards to then perhaps, yeah, outgrind, outbeat your Esper opponent or whatever it may be. I definitely do agree that Showdown should not be in the main deck. It is just a little bit of a... It's such a speed bump to yourself for a turn. That is the thing about it, right? You just play it for 4 mana and then nothing happens for an entire turn. And so this really should just be your last card after you already deployed your hand, and so you don't want to draw too many of them, because you don't want to have your turn 4 spent on that. That's what I'm trying to say. On turn 4, you want to deploy creatures, attackers, burn, whatever. Not a Showdown. Alright, so here we are in the stage of currently waiting for a diamond opponent, likely. And this is really unfortunate that in the early days on the best of 3 ladder, it's just waiting until you find an opponent. It would be better if they would just give you any opponent, I think. And do not look for mythic opponents necessarily. Until maybe day 10 of the month, and then, okay, only look for mythic opponents. But this is just so annoying. Okay, we found an opponent, finally. Interesting. I guess I'm keeping. Question is like, which 1-drop do we play first? I think it's the Kumano. Yeah. I could have played Initiate, and then I could go Kumano into Initiate. But then I don't have the guaranteed counter on this. Blue-red again. Who would have thought? But I do think that playing against blue-red is inherently easier for an aggressive deck than playing against Esper with Wandering Emperor and Mythic Massacre and stuff like Vanishing Verse. Interesting. Maybe I was supposed to shoot face there and then hope for a land and then Brutal Cathar the token away. That was actually quite interesting. And I kind of just shot the token because, yeah, it's the obvious play, but I don't know. I mean, and if we don't hit the third land, we can at least just Roil Eruption the token then. Another Temur deck, okay. Pretty popular these days. Go ahead and attack. I'll just play the Cathar. Oh, they have Disruption? Damn. They went turn 2 Dragon's Fire, turn 3 Fable, turn 4 Double Spell. Wow. They had a really good draw here. I mean, I had a good one too. Especially if I draw land. For Raiju. 2 Dragon's Fires are gone. I mean, how many are there still left? Alright, I'll just kill this Reflection. God damn it. Put him to 5. Could just attack like this, but I'm probably happy if they trade. God damn it! So much. Yeah, I mean, Temur is a good deck. It plays these cards. They drew them. That's it. The end of the story. Now they have to be out of them. Okay, they're just staying back. Oh, that's interesting. Oh god, so close. So close. Attack. Put a counter on Raiju. Ah, they go to 1. Yeah, I guess. Okay, this works. Because this can put a counter on itself. Yeah. So now they have to block the Raiju. I still get in for the damage. Okay, perfect. Okay. Okay. Alright, I do... Yeah, Boros deck's nice. And you gotta keep in mind that perhaps one of the best, if not the best card in the deck, we still haven't drawn. That's Luminarch Aspirant. That should be lights out. Your opponent's fighting on. Counterspell? Okay. Okay, but now, okay. Okay, okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so sort of the question here on the draw. I don't even know if I want to be bothered with Showdown on the draw. The more I think about it, just it's so slow. I kind of like the idea of Stormseeker. The removal. This at least deals nicely with Fable. This does not seem like a very efficient card here. It just goes to the face potentially. I'm gonna keep the Brutal Cathar. I do like it against Fable a lot. 1/1. Maybe I was supposed to keep the Roil Eruption. That card just doesn't seem that good. Like, yeah, it just goes to the face essentially, or it kills a Kiki or what have you. But I have better things to kill those things with. This is tough. This is a really bad start. I think I'm mulliganing. But it seems very... Yeah, I mean... You really gotta curve out so well in this format is what I'm thinking. It's just... The more time you give any of these decks, you lose. Like, you can't give them time. The late game is not on the Boros side. So this is just not a good curve. This is much better. Is Kumano better than the Adversary? Turn 1, turn 2. Oh, I could even go with this turn 2. That's better against Voltage Surge. Okay. I'll just bottom this. There's Luminarch Aspirant. Oh, we can't lose anymore. The reason to go with Adversary turn 2 is Voltage Surge, essentially. Yeah, and because everything's so about curving out, this card is quite nice. Okay. Oh no. They have a bolt. I mean, yeah. Forget about this game. My opponent's still at 19, killed 2 of my threats already, drew some extra cards. Yeah. The way the interaction is so cheap, it's just oof. I don't know about the composition of this deck. Is there not a possibility we could play more creatures instead of these burn spells? Because, yeah, Kumano, like, lots of these cards care about creatures. And creatures ultimately deal a lot more damage than just a burn spell. Yeah, a burn spell can also interact. I don't know. I'm starting to think that Valorous Stance is not really what I want to be doing. I just want to have a creature, you know, I just want to kill them. ignore the gold span. Even though a Valorous Stance here would have been nice. Okay. Okay. It's another Dragon's Fire. I don't have a spell, but the extra power is useful. I guess I could have just shot 2 to the face. In the end step, yeah. Or in the upkeep there. I guess now I can just trade with the gold span. One flooding out. They're thinking about the scry. Bottom. Good. No Titan. Wow. Okay. Boros 2, Temur 0. Huh. Yeah, I mean, my opponent just flooded out there, drew like 9 lands or whatever. Happens. Huh. Okay. Okay. I'll just keep in mind the composition of this deck. The 8 burn spells, the rest is creatures. We're learning. What a Mythic player. Nice. Great hand. This is the type of curve out that is really what you want. It's quite scary. Huh. Chance. Nice. Perfect. Drawing the 1-drop to go along here with my removal. Now, yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. If they have a chariot, we'll just play Cavalier, attack all? No, maybe. If they have chariot, we have this hopeful initiate to blow it up. Nothing. Nothing means removal to me. Probably trying to kill my 3/3 or something, or this Cavalier. But then they're still gonna take a bunch of damage. Yeah. Oh, damn. Okay. 2 removals. That's pretty good. Yikes. Okay. Ay, ay, ay. Wow. Interesting. So if I attack the den, attack everybody, they block the 2/2. Block the den, take 4, go to 3. Then I have cave at some point to kill them. Or even these 1/1s potentially. Okay. They have Chariot. I just want to put my opponent to 3 life, so 1 attack is enough. We really see how important these utility lands are. We're kind of flooding technically. But because we have these utility lands, Cave and Sokenzan and Den, we have stuff to do. No, okay. Plenty of roads lead to victory here. Just gonna go with this one. They only have 1 card in hand. Yeah. Crazy. Okay, interesting. That was... I think this game might be... Yeah, I don't know. They missed a 2-drop. If they have a 2-drop for my Bloodthirsty Adversary, this game would have gone differently. I was lucky to be ahead in a way, so that they had to play defensively. Okay, I kind of do want the Showdowns. I kind of like the Shocks as well. I wonder what I should cut. Maybe the Cavalier? Maybe Raiju is not that great. A little too expensive. I want the Kami's Flare. I'll try to be a little on the draw here. I don't think I can play this tempo game that I just had, where I'm just curving out on them. I'll play a little slower and have removal, have showdowns for the late game. Yeah. I mean, this is what I mean. We have, if these two would just be plain creatures, you know, this card would be better. Yeah. Oh, nice. That's the best draw, huh? Oh, beautiful. I mean, it's a risky play. But what am I supposed to do? I have to. This would have been a free damage spell. Right. Whoa! Oh, I did not think about Ray of Enfeeblement. Oh! Ouch. Ouch. Oh. That was a sick turn. It's crazy. We're still sort of okay. I mean, I'm probably dead here. Not gonna lie. This is not looking good. But, wow, yeah. That was brutal. I think I'm just gonna play it as is. So they kept the card in hand that they like.
You can deal with my servant. I'm busy.
Maybe it was Sorin. Okay. That's enough. But yeah, this is sort of what these decks do, right? This is Junt. It has a bazillion 1-mana removal, very low to the ground creatures that are good blockers, or even a removal in the with this. Fable, Sorens. I mean, look at these decks. How are you supposed to play aggro against something like that? They're not slow at all. They don't give you time. It's rough. It's rough out there. Man, Brutal Cathar. It's good against Fable, but that's about it. I think on the play, I need these play with fires less. I'll just have more creatures. Should have perhaps just played, yeah, the full amount of Sunrise Cavalier. Interesting. I guess I'll... Okay, no Ray. That's good. Gosh, imagine they had Voltage Surge and Ray there. Whew. They have Inferno Grasp. They do have Ray. This is such a joke, right? Like, but yeah, I mean, this can happen. Yeah. I don't know. Technically, these decks, there's no reason to be prepared for aggro so much, right? Technically not. Because there's no aggro, but these decks play these cards anyways, and that's the problem here. They just automatically have all these cards in their deck, even though they're not actively hating on aggro, but these cards are, yeah, just brutal against any aggro player. So, yeah. Showdown of the Skalds, huh? That's your way out of situations like these. Maybe you need the 4th copy against a deck like this. Like, this is just... the only way you beat this is Showdown. That's the only way. No spell. Oh, they have a Voltage Surge. Of course. By the way, you can let the opponent pay. They could have let me pay. I'm pretty sure about that. Then they can still respond to the free mana. You will see it here. See, I pay, and then they can still respond. That's technically what I should have done there. Just so I spent those free mana. This card is also very, very good against aggressive decks. It's a good stat line and gets you a clue, so in itself it grinds while blocking nicely. Nah, they can just trade everything here. My opponent playing this game very nicely. Showdown of the Skalds, really. Maybe 3 copies is not enough then. That does seem like the only way we can beat someone with Mythics and 4 1-mana removals. I'm just playing all my lands because of Showdown, where I could really use the extra lands in play. And yeah, there's bluff value, but not really. My opponent's sitting on 4 cards. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I was about to say, my window of opportunity to draw a Showdown is closing. Yikes. Okay. So it's gonna flip today, and then I think it gets a counter. So I could kill a Harvester, and then attack both. And they can block my Cavalier. But I kind of want to make the Cavalier 4/4. But then I would have to play this now. What do I kill? One of the 3/2s? Yeah. Okay, I changed my mind. I'm gonna make this into a 2/3. And then these Raijus can pump up my Cavalier into a 4/4. They just have more removal. They just have endless amounts of removal. Does not end. But yeah, as I said, Junt I could see being okay. Junt I did not like that much against Esper. That's why I didn't play the deck, but it does have tools against these blue-red decks. Rivetier's Charm, the big one. And then a low curve, heavy hitters. Chariot is pretty good. You can play Go Blank if you want to. You can play all kinds of things. Okay. They let me attack. Am I winning this game? Wow. Showdown, huh? Well, let's not celebrate too early. So, I definitely pumped this one. The one with the 2. So they won't have good blocks. They can double this one, I guess, with these 2. They go to 8. Jump 1, take 8. I guess I would just want to make... Yeah, I just want to make everything a 4-power creature, huh? They just... Oh, they have another Mythic. Oh, they have a third Mythic. Oh, that's brutal. Oh, god damn it. I guess, what am I saying? They just have to make this block. I'm just thinking about the worst case again. So this could either mean they have another Mythic, or it could mean they have nothing. But, yeah, I don't know. They did have... We have a Mythic. I wouldn't be surprised, let's say. It's nothing lost, though. I mean, they go up to 8 life again. We have this Den. They do. They do, of course. Activate first, so we get the counter. Okay, I mean, this is... Oh, come on. Hey! This is ridiculous! This is the 4th Voltage Surge? 3rd Mythic? Hey, come on! Seriously? Seriously? seriously, that is just too much. Now they killed my Cavalier. Okay. I'll take one more draw. I guess my lesson out of this weird game was that Showdown is good. Very good against Jund. With a bazillion removal spells. Okay. Real. Third me took into Voltage Surge for my den. Yeah, I bet. Must be nice. It's just a game, Arne. It's just a game. Okay. Interesting. I don't know. Like, supposedly, as I said, this Boros deck does not seem. It just doesn't seem good against Jund. So I should honestly not be, you know, be mad about losing to Jund when Jund is constructed in a way, especially my opponent's deck list, constructed in a way that's very, very good against any aggro deck. Any aggro deck, I mean. Yeah. So we still sort of got close to killing them, even though their draw was absolutely insane. Not absolutely insane. I mean, they could have had... They gave us a lot of time because they didn't have a threat to kill us with for like 7 turns, the 7 first turns. But still, yeah, okay, fine. I guess my lesson to take away from that one is you want 4 Showdown for these matchups, because especially against Voltage Surge decks, against Esper, I mean, they have Wandering Emperor, so it's also pretty rough to try to rush them, you know. You know, I don't like to play aggro in a format where I don't know, where most of my opponent's decks are filled with very cheap interaction to kill my stuff or to counter it or whatever. That's just never a good proposition. I wonder why it's so good in best of 1. It is more resilient, I guess. The creatures are big. It's haste damage. So yeah, if the opponent does not hit everything perfectly on curve, and you hit your perfect curve, Boros will win, right? Of course, if you go 1-drop, 2-drop, 3-drop, 4-drop, and the opponent doesn't have 1-drop, 2-drop, 3-drop, 4-drop, the Boros player wins. But it's... in those curve scenarios, it's still... Then also if you're on a draw, it might just be different. Then they don't need the 1-drop, then the Divine Disruption is enough. So, I'm not convinced. It is not a bad deck, I think. It's a good deck. You can play it if you just want to ladder quickly. But I'm not sure if it's like a tier 1 deck. It's just perhaps the best aggro deck in the format. That's... I would go so far and say that. Alright guys, that is enough of Boros Aggro. A little bit of a different take, a different deck than I usually play. You see me playing a bunch of Izzet decks or mid-range decks these days, but hey, those are the playable decks in the format, so... But still, we branched out a little bit here into Boros Aggro. Let me know if you liked the video. Let me know in the comments what you think about my thoughts on the deck. Let's discuss it a little bit. I would love that. And yeah, if you haven't, give me a sub and a like to the video too to help with the algorithm. That'd be nice. Alright guys, see you next time. Love you all. Bye bye.